Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lingala Institute. On this tutorial, I will be showing you how to use while loop in Python, using Python, okay? It is pretty basic, but for a new programmer, it can be very complicated, okay? I will explain it, to the best of my knowledge, okay? At the moment, I have a variable called nums, and I have assigned it an empty list, and inside the empty list, I added numbers from 1 through 10. Okay, I have another variable. We'll be using all this with our while loop. Another variable called lst, and inside this variable is just an empty list. Okay, then we have another variable called I, and I has the value of 0 at the moment. Okay, I will start writing my while loop, but before writing my while loop, I will just double check, run the cell to see if there's no error, and also to check the value of my variable, okay, to see what is stored inside my variables. Okay, I run it now, nums. If I run this cell, I will see what nums, what is stored inside nums variable. Okay, I'll do the same thing for lst. Okay, run the cell. Okay, it's an empty list, and I run the cell, and it's 0. Okay, let me start with my while loop. Okay, there are two things that it will be very important for you to understand. Okay, the first one is nums I. Okay, nums I. Okay, nums I at the moment will give me the first element in the list because I is 0. Okay, if I run this cell, I will get 1. I'm supposed to get 1. Okay, run it, I get 1. Okay, there's something else that I will be using, is called len nums. Okay, so I'm just checking the length of the list. I'm counting how many items are in the list nums. Okay, run, I get 10 items. Okay, len nums is better than using like 10. Okay, you will understand. Let me start by writing while I, okay, less than len nums. Okay, and I'll write colon. Okay, that's just how it's supposed to be. Less num while I less than len nums, enter. I want this lst list, all the values from nums list to be sent to lst list. Okay, for me to do that, I just write lst dot append. Okay, opening parentheses and closing parentheses, and inside that's where I write nums, the bracket, opening bracket, closing bracket, and I inside. Okay, that's not it. That's not enough. I need to do something else. Okay, which is I plus equal 1. It means increase I by 1 every time the loop runs. Okay, and now if I run this cell, okay, I cannot run nums I because I will get some error. If I want to do that, I need to do something like this, nums I minus 1, to get the last items, the last element in the list. I will not spend time explaining that, but len num is still 10. Okay, len num is still 10. Okay, now I need to check my lst list, which was empty, and let's see what we have now. we have everything that is in nums list. Okay, for me to double check if everything it has been sent to LST, I can do something like this. Nums LST equal nums. Okay, I'm asking Python to verify whether these two lists are identical. It says true, which means they are identical. Okay, in most cases you will not be needing everything that's in one list to be sent to another list. Okay, sometimes maybe you want only even numbers, or maybe you want just odd numbers. Okay, I told you len nums is 10. Okay, it's better to use len nums than 10 because sometimes you don't know how many elements you have in a list. Okay, here you can see, you can count, and it's probably easy, but some lists are very long and it doesn't worth it to spend time to try to figure out the length of the list before using it. Okay, like now if I have 12 elements, okay, 11 and 12, and run the cell, and if I check len nums, I should have 12. Okay, and here it stays the same. Okay, if I did not use len nums, I was going to have to use 12. Okay, so I just want you to know that len nums is the same as 12. Okay, if I run this cell, I should get true. Okay, so in most cases, you will not need everything from a list to be sent to another list. Okay, I'm using an if statement. Okay, I'm adding a condition if I modulo 2 equal 0, that's the only time you will do something. Okay, I introduced modulo. Modulo is when you want the remainder. Okay, now if I have 12 modulo 10, it will give me the remainder after when I divide 12 by 10. Okay, so I get 2. Okay, if I want to divide 10 by 12, modulo 12, I think I will get 10. Okay, but I will not spend time teaching you modulo arithmetic. Okay, but we use it a lot in programming. People use it a lot in programming. So if I modulo, you learn all this by just doing. Okay, if I modulo 2 equals 0, it just means that if a number, whatever value I will have, if it's divisible by 2, if without a remainder, if you can divide it by 2 without a remainder, it means that that number is an even number, and send nums I to LST list. Okay, so but now I cannot just run my cell the way it is now. Okay, because I will get an error. There's something in Python called indentation. Okay, the codes has to be formatted in a certain way. So for me to format this script accurately, what I need to do is to put my cursor where it is now and press tab once. Okay, now I will not get an error if I run this cell. Okay, I run it. Okay, now I want to see what is inside LST variable. Okay, I run it. I have numbers 1 through 11. Okay, I have all the odd numbers. Now if I want even numbers, what I need to do is something called not equal. Okay, not equal, not equal 0, which means that, okay, if my remainder is not equal 0, that's when you need to do something. Okay, that's when you have to do something. So if not equal 0, I've written it here. Now I want it to be here. I'll remove one equal and put an apostrophe sign. Okay, it means if I modulo 2 not equal 0, that's the only time that you are expected to do something. I'm adding a condition. Okay, I'll run the cell. Now I want to see my LST, and I should have all the even numbers. Okay, now I have all the even numbers. Okay, and I want to do something a little bit different. Instead of I want to use num I. Okay, num I, nums I. Okay, nums I. Okay, that's what I want to use. So what does it mean? It means I'm using the number. Okay, I'm using the value. I'm not using the I variable. Okay, the I variable, that's incrementing, that's increasing every time the loop runs. Okay, it will still increase, but it will give me the element. Okay, the element at a certain position, in the list. Okay, so num I, when it runs for the first time, num I will mean 1. Then it will be, it will mean 2 when it runs for the second time, 3 when it runs for the third time, and so on. Okay, so let me copy this and delete I and paste num I. Okay, if num I modulo 2 not equal 0, do something. Okay, send that element to LST list. Okay, let me run this cell. Okay, and let me check my LST list and see what I have. Okay, I have all the the odd numbers. Okay, I have all the odd numbers. And what else can I do? I can remove the apostrophe and add another equal. Okay, 1 equal is not the same as 2 equal. Okay, I will not spend time explaining this, but 2 equal is called comparison operator. Okay, let me run this cell. Okay, and see what I have in LST. Okay, let me just start a new cell so that you can see the odd and the even numbers coming from the same list when you play with the assignment, the comparison operators. Okay, here I have all the even numbers, and here I have all the odd numbers. Okay, if I go remove one equal sign, add an exclamation mark, and run the cell, I get the the odd numbers. Okay, if I run here, I will get all the odd numbers. Okay, if I remove the apostrophe and add another equal, which is called comparison operator, and run this cell and run this one, I get the even numbers, and the same here. Okay, if you understand my tutorials, please subscribe. I will be making more Python tutorials, and I mostly write scripts that interact with APIs, like Google Cloud platforms, all the API services and all. That's the kind of script I mostly write. So if you enjoy my tutorial, please subscribe, like the videos, and if you want me to cover something specific, I will do it. And yeah, this was just a tutorial to teach you how to use while loop. Okay, I will be making other tutorial teaching you how to use while loop, but slightly different from this one. Okay, in Python, I repeat, sometimes while loop is what you need to accomplish a task. Sometimes a for loop can do, and sometimes you don't even need a loop. Okay, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Bye for now. Please remember to subscribe. Bye bye.